Real Women of Philadelphia. This is Jennifer Irwin, and you're here in my kitchen in Las Vegas, Nevada. So there's some really great things about living in Las Vegas. We have amazing restaurants, great weather. You wouldn't believe the shopping that we have here. But the best thing about me living here in Las Vegas is that my whole family is here, and the majority of my husband's family is here. So it's fantastic that we don't have to miss out on each other's lives. The only downfall to that is sometimes we tend to double book some events. So us all being real women, I thought maybe I could share my mistake that I learned from and got some valuable information out of on Mother's Day. So on Mother's Day we had my mother-in-law, and I know this is kind of a rarity, but I really love my mother-in-law. And so we had her over for an early lunch, and we just got to visiting, and before you know it, I am hours late to my sister's function, where she was having my mother, my aunt, my grandmother over, and we all know etiquette. And I was assigned an appetizer, and oh, I'll tell you, it's such a bad thing when you go hours late to an event and you're supposed to bring the appetizer. So I had all these ingredients to make an appetizer, and I knew I needed to sweeten the deal because I was going to be in some hot water. So I took the ingredients that I had for my appetizer dish and turned it into a sweet and savory dessert, hoping that my family would forgive me. So what we're going to make today is it's a creamy berry brie. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with just taking a piece of puff pastry, and I've just let it thaw out a little bit in the refrigerator so that we can still work with it, but you want it to keep it cold. And we're going to take about a cup of a blackberry preserve. And so it's an 18-ounce jar, and we're going to use about half of it. So we're going to take this jelly, and we are going to spread it onto our puff pastry. And you can use any kind of jelly that you like. If you don't like blackberry, you can change it up and use strawberry or orange. But we're going to take that and put that right in the center of our puff pastry. And then we're going to take some Brie. So Brie is it's a really creamy, soft cheese, and it just kind of comes in a little container like this. You can find it in your cheese section. And we're going to use 8 ounces of this Brie. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it right on top of our jelly, and we're going to slice it just a little bit, just so that we can put something even yummier inside this. And Brie, oh, Brie is really good. It's nice and creamy. It's one of my little boy's favorites. So on Mother's Day, as my husband is still outside entertaining my mother-in-law, and I realize that we are now hours late to a party that we're not even at yet, my little boy and I come in to make a dish together. And that's the best part, you know. I love those episodes of Paula Deen when she has her boys in the kitchen. It's great. And I know that I'm going to make a lot of mistakes as my son is growing older, but when he's all grown up and he's still hanging out in the kitchen with me, then I know I've done at least something right. So we're going to take, this is the Philadelphia cream cheese. It's strawberry. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but this cream cheese comes in all kinds of different flavors. Blueberry, pineapple, honey nut. We're going to use strawberry today. And I've just let it sit on the counter, and so it can soften a little bit. And we're going to take this softened cream cheese, and I'm going to use about 4 ounces, about half of this container. And inside where I have sliced this brie, I'm just going to put this rich strawberry Philadelphia cream cheese, so that you not just get the brie, but you get the flavor of the cream cheese too. I'm just going to pull that open. And you don't have to be shy with it. You can use quite a bit of it. So, just like that. So about half of that. And because I'm in such hot water now, I know I need to make this extra sweet. So I'm going to sweeten up the cheese just a little bit more by just sprinkling about a tablespoon of sugar. And you can just kind of sprinkle it all over. Just like that. And we're going to put just a few slivers of almonds in here. And the great thing about this dessert is that, you know, you don't just slice it and everybody just takes a piece and just kind of walks away. This is a dessert where you get to pull people into you because everybody has to be centered around this brie. We're going to just dip in it and we're going to be able to visit, and I really need that right now considering I'm so late to my party. So we're going to make just a little package of this. So we're going to take this puff pastry and we're just going to pull it right over the sides. I love puff pastry. I mean, you can put just about anything in it and I'd eat it. As long as it's got puff pastry, I could eat Brussels sprouts. Oh, so good. So we're just going to fold this over and make a little package, a little gift, so that your family will forgive you for being so late to their party. So you're going to take it just like that. And then to make sure that it looks pretty and everything is sealed, I'm just going to take a little bit of egg wash and I'm going to run it along the bottom just to seal all these edges. And I'm going to flip it over very carefully so that it doesn't break open. And place it this side up. And when this bakes, it gets really puffy and beautiful, and then inside of this crispy crust is just this creamy, savory, sweet cheese mixture that we are going to be able to dip some fabulous things into. So after you've covered that, we're just going to put it in a 375-degree oven, and we're going to bake it for about 20 to 30 minutes. So our creamy berry brie just came out of the oven. It's nice and hot, and while it's still hot, I'm gonna sweeten it up even more. Remember, I have some serious apologies here for my family, so I'm just gonna put a little extra powdered sugar over the top. And I've just plated it with some really fun things that you probably already have in your kitchen. We have some butter cookies and some vanilla wafers, some fresh fruit. These are just waffle cones where, you know, several of them when you get them in the store, they're broken anyways. And so they're perfect for dipping into this creamy, delicious dessert. And I have to tell you, when I bring this in front of my family, my grandma was getting ready to leave and she said, "Now Jennifer, now you're going to make me stay and linger," which was exactly my point. I wanted to spend a little extra time with my family. And this is the type of dessert where everybody gets to gather around, everybody gets to grab something and dip, and so you just get more visit time. And during this big mistake of mine, I come into this party late, I learned something really valuable about my grandma. As she was eating it, she said, "Oh, it's so creamy, it's so buttery." And she shared a story with my sisters and I that, you know, she grew up in the Depression. My grandma's fabulously in her 80s. And that, you know, families couldn't afford food, so they were given these tickets that they would take to their market and they could buy staple food. But butter and cheese and chocolate weren't considered staple foods, so you had to have actual money to buy those items. So my grandmother said she went many, many years without having any butter or cheese or chocolate. And she said they would have like a little jar of lard, is what she described, and they put a little coloring in it, and that's what you would pretend to have butter. So I was really grateful to be able to learn that story about my grandma on Mother's Day and share this dessert with her. So let me show you just how delicious this can be. So I'm just going to take one of these, this is just an ice cream cone that I just broke up, and you can see that it's already starting to just ooze out. It's so good. And all of that delicious Philadelphia cream cheese, the brie, the jelly, oh, it's good. And crunchy. All these things will hold up to this dip too. So thank you for coming to Las Vegas. Thank you for letting me share my stories and my dish with you. Thank you to Paula Dean, and thank you to Philadelphia Cream Cheese for giving all of us women this opportunity.